The travesty of mankind is that you think you are not divine. Here are some of my favorite and the best quotes that summarize Paul Selig's book, The Book of Freedom. As you express as the divine, you claim the divinity that is inherent in all things. Now here's an idea that shows up in all of his books, and all these ideas pretty much show up again and again in his books, because the truth bears repeating, right? These books are meant as a reminder of what we are, so he repeats again and again because he's trying to, the guides, or I say he, but really it's the guides, plural, that Paul Selig channels. As you express it, you bring it forth within everything. As you perceive it in everything, it is informed by your perception, and it comes forth. So the expression of the divine is what's most important, is for us to choose to align to it and express it. To be fully realized as the true self, the divine as what you are, requires one thing: to surrender to what you have always been at the cost of the known. Here's a huge theme found from almost all spiritual masters and all Paul Selig's books, which is surrender. You must surrender the known. What is the known? What you think is true. What your ego, your small self, your personality assumes and thinks of what is what. You need to surrender all of that. Basically, your full paradigm within yourself, your full idea of what is. You need to surrender all of that to realize and have the divine self come forth and to show you what is the truth. And what you're surrendering to is what you have always been. You have never not been that. As you align to that level, you give permission to everyone else to do the very same thing. This is an idea that shows up again and again in his books, which is, as you express it, it helps everyone else. You set the example. You become the prototype. Monkey see, monkey do, right? And actions are louder than words. Your vibration sets the tone, sets the bar higher, and everyone sees that and says, oh, wow, that's what's possible, and it makes it easier for everyone else to reach that level. You are always commensurate to the landscape you exist in. The vibratory field you hold is in agreement to everything you see. This is another way of saying you create your reality, right? Or that reality is a mirror. Or as Bashar expresses it, you can't experience anything that you are not the vibration of. What you experience in your reality is what your vibration you're at. Or as Paul Selig talks in another book, is that you're a radio, and whatever channel you choose to broadcast, that's what channel you're going to experience. The realization of the divine in material form, in fact, renders the world as your lover in a higher way. This is beautiful, and it reminds me of Kundalini and yoga, and how yogis in the past have described their experience with Kundalini as, I don't need an external lover. I have found my lover within me, this goddess, the Kundalini, this princess, this lover. It's a beautiful way to think of it this way, is that you treat the world and all of reality as your lover. So you're always treating everyone the same, everything the same, because everything is this one. You make God as your lover, and then God is within everything. Information is not the key to wisdom, knowing is. Information may inspire us to have an experience, but really experience is what brings about knowing, right? We must have the experience ourselves to actually know, and that's what's important. Please do not mistake wisdom for information. Wisdom comes through experience and alignment, and really in no other way. The true self knows, the small self thinks. Each exchange you have with a fellow is an invitation to know who they are in their liberation. The truth of your being in vibration informs every encounter. This sounds very much, this particular quote, like A Course in Miracles. The idea that as you perceive your brother or sister is what you become. That's really how you perceive yourself. So if you wish to become, an enlightened person, receive Christ consciousness, to awaken, you must perceive everyone as Christ, as Buddhas, as awakened, as angels, basically, as God. The free will that you have been given is utilized in its highest way when it is allowed to be received by the divine. The divine is what you are, in alignment and will express with you. Do you understand that? Express with you. This is interesting and kind of sheds light on the idea of not my will, but the Father's will that I do, right? It's not the personality's will. The highest expression of your free will is to express the divine will through you. And like here as it describes, it's not alone, it's doing it with you. Like you are a steward of it. It's like you're a channel of that will. To be truly liberated is to be in obedience or agreement or coherence with the true self, who is your most trustworthy companion. This is the most simple teaching you will ever get. If God is present in manifestation, God may be known as manifest. Now, the fabric of reality that you share is malleable to thought, and this is what you don't understand. How you perceive anything informs the object of your perception. This idea, this theme that comes up over and over in Paul Selig's books and from all spiritual masters is that you create your reality. How you perceive things is what determines how they will be in your experience. Your perception informs them on how to be. So be aware and choose wisely how you perceive things. The easiest way to understand is that what you are, in recognition of your world, will make no claim upon another but one that is in love. You are the emissary of the vibration of love, and the claim you make for another will be in agreement to this. This flows nicely from the last quote because it's just saying you should see everyone with the eyes of love. You shall make no other claim but love. If you want to remember what you are, if you want to realize the truth, if you want to raise your vibration, you perceive everyone, regardless of how they present themselves, and everything with the eyes of love, with love. You're the emissary of love. Habit, you see, can dictate action, and you have habituated many aspects of your life that must now be rendered anew. This is interesting, talking about habit. Now we get stuck in certain habits, and how most of our actions are basically just habits, and how we must change those habits if you want to change. Everything is sacred. Do you understand these words? The hair on the man's head, the tears of the old woman, the laughter of the child, birth and death itself are as sacred as well. Bear witness to joy, bear witness to grief, and know that all is of God. Beautiful quote. Speaks of union, of unity, right? Everything is one, and that one is sacred, therefore everything is sacred. How each human being serves is by the realization of the true self, and the true self in expression is perfect service. The true self is implicit in any individual and every individual, regardless of what they have done or claimed. When you decide that anything can be forgiven, anything can be known anew, you have progressed to the incarnation of the Christ in manifestation. This very simply breaks down how to become a Christ or to reach Christ consciousness. You see everything as perfect and you forgive everything, because then by your perception you make them new. You help them be reborn to their true self. The generation you stand in, all who are born and may know, chose to embody for the purpose of the escalation of humanity. The Book of Freedom, another great book by Paul Selig. I highly recommend it. There's a link in the description if you're interested in buying one. Thank you.